Hello and welcome everybody to 2025. Hooray! Ready to rock and roll? This is my first video, and in today's video we will be doing my 4 for 4 favorites of 2024. 4 of my favorite books, 4 things that I sewed, 4 things that I painted / drew, and also 4 things that I thrifted this 2024. So starting off, I will be showing you the 4 things that I sewed in 2024. I did sew a lot more, but these are like 4 of my favorite things that I sewed. So the first things that I sewed in 2024 is scrunchies. These came out so well. I was really happy with them. I did a couple of different scrunchies. This one here is kind of like a ponytail topper I wanted to make because I feel like the ruffles would get like lost when it turned into a normal scrunchie. But I was really happy with how all of these turned out. Super simple, especially because I am still an amateur when it comes to sewing. And if you are too, pick scrunchies. They're really easy. There are so many videos out there, so I definitely do scrunchies first if you're an amateur like myself. So the next thing that I sewed in 2024, it was towards the end of the year, so I've got a little bit of experience going so far, was a laptop sleeve. This is completely quilted. You can kind of see the lines here. I did use some Velcro patches to pop the little top down. You can pop your laptop in there. It does have a little sleeve for like all my books and things. And yeah, I was super happy with how this turned out. It was really fun to make. I didn't have a pattern or anything. A lot of these things I don't have patterns for. I just kind of wing it in a way. Your rule is your best friend when it comes to that. And the next thing that I sewed in 2024 was book sleeves. These are one of my most favorite things to sew. I have sewn so many. They're not all here because a lot of them I do give away as like gifts to friends, family, things like that. But this one here is probably my absolute favorite. I kept it for myself. It is quilted too, so that was a bit new to try out and it turned out really good. It is Halloween themed because I love Halloween, and it does have a book inside. A book that I left in 2024. Still gonna read it, but I just kind of forgot about it. Not gonna lie. This is the inside. So I think I did pretty well. Like, it does have some little errors that happened, but that's gonna happen with anything. Also this one here, it's an Alice in Wonderland one. The inside. They're just really fun to sew, and it's one of my most favorite things that I did in 2024. Now, the final thing that I sewed in 2024, I must say, I did have some help with my dad in sewing this because this was completely new territory for me. There was an event in 2024 called the Celestial Ball. It's pretty much a ball for people that are fans of like ACOTAR, fantasy books, things like that. You didn't have to be like an ACOTAR fan, for example. If you just wanted a ball that was like fantasy themed, that was pretty much the only ball during that year. We don't get a lot of things like that out here in Australia. I think they have another one in 2025, which I will be attending. So if you are going to that, if you are in Australia, please comment down below. I would love to meet more people in the book community and see different people. But I did sew my dress for the Celestial Ball. It was a bit of a mission. It was a bit of a mission. I will say I kind of cheated. I did have a dress base, so just like a cheap dress beforehand, and I sewed another layer, pretty much of the exact same dress on top of the dress, if that makes sense. You'll see in a minute. I haven't got it on because it's just a bit of a mission, and I feel like it looks nicer when I was actually at the ball, so I will insert a photo of me at the Celestial Ball and what the dress looked like fully on, but I will show you the top of it. So this is the dress. As you can see, like, this is the dress base here, the black, and then this is what I sewed on top. So this is a mesh completely. I got the fabric from Spotlight, and I had to kind of sew it onto the dress and kind of customize it to my own style and what I wanted. I did make this like the top part where the shoulder is a little bit smaller, which the dress wasn't like. I did add a train to it, and I did all the other detailing myself. So like the rhinestones, I individually popped on, the trim, kind of really made it my own. But yeah, I did have a lot of help from my dad because he used to be into furniture in the furnishing business, so he does understand fabrics and sewing machines. That was a massive help, but I will be sewing my dress in 2025 too, so fingers crossed that works out well too. I don't know what theme I'm going to go for, kind of tossing up between like an icy blue theme or like a gold. We'll see, we'll see. Now my second 4 favorites of 2024 is my favorite books that I read. So as you can kind of tell, I do love books. I love reading. I love anything to do with books. This, like 2024 wasn't the biggest year of reading for me. I kind of got into a slump in a couple of different parts of the year. A couple of things happened, but wish for better things in 2025, but I still was able to read some of my most favorite books to date now during that period. So here are my 4 favorite books of 2024. Now this first book I picked up at a thrift store, completely random. I just was looking around and I just picked it up, and I've never heard of it, never read it, nothing like that. Didn't know what I was getting into, but it sounded really interesting. And I am someone who's really down for anything that's like gothic and old, like Victorian vibes, like kind of spooky. So I picked this up, and this has to be like my most favorite book ever. Like besides from any part of the year, it's just like my favorite book ever. And it is The Dead Travel Fast by Deanna Raybourn. I love this book so much. If you want a book that gives you all of like the gothic, like vampire vibes, superstitions, creepy things happening, a little bit of a slow burn, there's nothing that's like a crazy romance. It's very much, I guess you could say, more like a traditional like chivalry romance, like, you know, just like it's so hard to explain, but it's not like your traditional, oh, you know, they kind of get together. No, it's very slow burn. It's very off and on, hit and miss, but that's not even like the main part of it. Pretty much with not giving too much away. It's set in 1858 in Edinburgh. It pretty much involves vampires, a decaying castle, superstitions, different tales and things like that. I don't want to say too much because I don't know if this book is actually available anymore. I did look for it on Amazon and I don't think it was there anymore, or it was quite expensive, at least for me in Australia. I don't know about other places, but if you can get your hands on this, get your hands on this. It is beautiful. Everything is beautiful about it. Now, also following the theme of Scotland and kind of like the old period times, this one is set in 1923, and it's about an artist who goes to a mansion, who is there to give pretty much a value of a collection of art pieces that a gentleman has that lives in this mansion. And he travels to this town, and it's no one likes, you know, foreigners, outsiders, anything like that. They're all very weary, and the guy's very, let's just say his moods swing a lot, and a lot of funky things start happening. And as he starts collecting and, you know, going through the private collection and evaluating it, the artwork seemed to get darker and darker, and it's a little suspicious about what is happening here. And of course, there are footsteps throughout the house during the night. Crazy book. Love this book. It was definitely a ride. It is got all like that gothic, old, mysterious themes inside of it. love this book. If you want something that is just kind of not going to make sense in a way until the end, and you're an artist and want a really like just amazing gothic old dark read, I love this. I love anything to do with artists in fictional books, whether that be just any sort of thing, whether art is the magic, or anything to do with that. And in this instance, it is quite heavily based on art and things like that. He is a private evaluator for art collections, and it all just gets a little crazy towards the end. I loved it. Now this next book is pretty much no stranger to most people, at least the name of Neil Gaiman is not, but I feel like I'm like the first person out of everyone that hasn't read this, but I loved it. It wasn't like anything too deep, it was just a YA book, but it's amazing to just get back into the world of Neil Gaiman, especially from someone who loves Coraline. I just love this book, and that is The Ocean at the End of the Lane. This was just, again, gives that eerie feel, a really great story. I read this in one sitting. It was such a quick, easy read, but just the work in general is just so fun getting into this world again, and I loved it. I love the movie Stardust too, so I have not done really anything to do with Neil Gaiman for a while, so this was great. Absolute amazing read. Now my fourth and last favourite book of 2024 is this. It's more so the book itself is an appreciation. I did get it for Christmas, so it was quite late into the year, but nevertheless I've gone through the book and I just appreciate it for what it is. It's just incredible. So this is a collection of Gustave Dor's work. So this is a huge book, but it is stunning. Like in itself is stunning, and that's not even the contents inside. From the sprayed edges, and this is a huge collection of pretty much paintings, prints, you know, different illustrations and things, pretty much from his lifetime. It's just a beautiful book, and to think of how many artworks he has produced is just insane. So you could stare at this for hours and hours on end and find something new every single time. Like, just to give a bit of context, this is some of his works. Absolutely incredible. I am so grateful I got this book. It is just an amazing thing to have in my collection of books. Now I want to move on to the 4 things that I drew / painted in 2024. So these are just 4 of like the things that I like the most that I created. Starting off is this really fun, beautiful painting that I made. It is an oil painting. I just got introduced to oil painting in 2023, so I'm quite fresh into it, but I will never look back. I remember when I first started oil painting, it was in my class when we had to pick like a painting to make for our graduation show, and I did acrylic at first, and I was getting so frustrated. It just like the colors were not right. I felt like it looked flat, and I just really felt like it needed more, especially because what I chose to do was a realistic piece. It just was not giving what I needed it to. So I picked up oil paint just completely on a whim, and I have not looked back. The colors, everything is so much richer. I still use acrylic paints for different things, but when it comes to realism, I 100% use oil paints. It's a snail pace of painting, but I am an oil painting galley now. Next thing that I made was this drawing for a friend. this is not just like one drawing, it's kind of like a representation of all the other ones that I've done of pet portraits, which I am not able to show because I've given them away as gifts and like things to friends. I'll see if I can put a photo up there if I do find any, but this is just a little pencil drawing that I did, and I really love it. I loved how it turned out. I am such a big like animal drawing fan. I love drawing animals, painting animals, anything to do with them. And if you do want to check out more of what I do, please follow my Instagram or even just visit it and have a little look at what I do. Now the next two I don't physically have because it was a bit of a slow year when it came to physical artwork. I just didn't really get around to it as much. So this is a couple of digital ones that I did. I'm really trying to get more into character art. I would love to do covers for authors for books and things. So I'm kind of experimenting like digitally, and I am starting my graphic design course this year. So trying to get more into the digital space. It's really hard as someone who has been like a traditional artist for so long. But I really do enjoy digital art. One of them is inspired by Akatar, and the other one is just like a cute little witch girly that I wanted to do for Halloween, and I will be turning it into a sticker. Now my last 4 favorites of 2024 is my 4 favorite thrift finds. Love collecting. I love everything to do with it, and I've been thrifting for probably about like 5 years now, and just it's like snail consumerism, I guess, like having an idea of something that you want and putting it to the side until you go, nope, I'm gonna go thrifting. I might not find it tomorrow, but I might find it in 6 months' time. But holding off on that, you know, it's just less junk going into the planet too. And I love thrifting, and I find some incredible things, and I've been very fortunate to find different things. Again, I don't purchase things that I know I'm not going to use. I actually purchase things that I genuinely want, or I won't be able to find again because they are, you know, they don't make it anymore. They just different things like that. So, you know, just little things I've collected over the year. And yeah, so these are some of my favorite things and just incredible things that I've found while thrifting in 2024. Now this thrift find is probably my favorite just in general. I could not believe that I found this. This is just an incredible find. I was talking to the ladies there, and they said that a librarian had pretty much donated a whole bunch of books that she had in her private collection, and I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. But these are my 2 amazing thrift finds. So the first is A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, and the other is The Brothers Grimm. It's a collection. This is the front of them, are beautiful leather bound copies. And I believe the first one, The Brothers Grimm, this one here is actually a limited edition. So it says, this limited edition is published by the Franklin Library exclusively for subscribers to the collected stories of the world's greatest writers. And I believe this one was published in 1984. So this one was published in 1984. That is just such a beautiful collection. It's just incredible to find something like this. And with the Charles Dickens copy, I believe this one here was published by the Eastern Press. And let's have a look. From what I gathered, this one is published in 1981. So that is incredible. Just such an amazing find. Moving on with the theme of books, this here I completely walked past. I was about to walk out the store, and I just, by the corner of my eye, I was just like, no, I'll have a little look. They kind of look interesting. I don't know what the back of those are, but they kind of look interesting. And these have been on my wish list for so long, especially like the first one that I will show you. But I found the entire collection there, and I couldn't believe it. It was just amazing. And I've seen these a lot in like videos and whatnot by American recommendations, but I've never seen them in like a QBD or anything. I've tried to keep my eyes out open, but I haven't found them before. But these are the Darcy Hannah books. This one here in particular, I have been looking for ages. I could not believe it. But what's even better is I found not one, but a whole bunch of them. I found about 4 copies. I actually found about, I think 6 of them, but 2 of them I genuinely was like, I kind of read the back and I was just like, no, I feel like I'd read these. They're all like little murder mystery books. So you've got this one here. It's almost like all different ones for different seasons. Do have the Murder at the Christmas Cookie Bake Off. Again, the Murder at the Pumpkin Pageant that I showed before. And this one here. And along with the Darcy Hannah ones, there was a couple of other different authors with a similar vibe, like that cozy mystery murder type of book. And it's these ones here. How adorable are these? I could not believe it. They are just so cool. And that one. And the next thing that I found thrifting, which was really cool find, was this Steve Madden bag. I thought this was so cool. It kind of looks like soccer shoes almost, but I thought this was just such a fun bag. Now it's just got a little bit of wear and tear, but that's okay, because I still absolutely love this bag. I think it's so fun, and I couldn't believe I found Steve Madden in the thrift store for, I think this was like $5, if that. So that was really crazy. I love that. Now the last thing that I found thrifting, I completely picked up this top because I just found it in the rack and I went, oh, that's cute. I like that. It's really interesting, and never even paid attention until I went to look at the actual price for the top, and out popped out the original tag for it, and I saw the brand and I was like, oh my goodness, I have not seen anything like this. I know of the brand, but I've never shopped there personally, and the price tag will tell you why I haven't, because it's quite high, and it had the original tag on it from when the person bought it. And wow, I don't understand how people buy these things. Like, it could be for a multitude of reasons, I don't know, but just even the concept of throwing out such a high priced item still with tags on it to like thrift stores, op shops and whatnot is just crazy. And this is the top in question. It is this beautiful top. Like, look at the gold detailing. It is just stunning and such a fun top. The brand, this is a really popular brand in Australia, and I've just never purchased anything from it, and I couldn't believe when I found it. And I still have the original tags because it came with the tags when I bought it, and it came with like spare buttons and things. And this was the original price. So it was originally $325 down to $230 that this person paid. And I think I paid about like $12 for it. Crazy. It's so crazy to me, but really fortunate to find something like that. That was just a great win of luck. Like, so crazy, but perfectly in my size. I love it. It's just a really great thrift find, so that's why I popped it in here. And that is all for the video today. Thank you so much for sticking around if you did stick around till the end. This is my first video, so I am a little bit nervous. If my words are not 100% right, because I am nervous, it is my first video, but I hope when I get more into it that I become more comfortable and kind of become more like myself. I hope to in the future have a lot more like crafty videos, talk about art, hobbies, all those types of things. So if that is up your alley, hit the like button and the subscribe button, and I'll see you around. Thank you so much. See you later.